Hello everybody, welcome back to Edgewater, Saskatchewan. So this is episode 16 now. It should be a Friday hopefully, so this will be the last episode of the week. I do just need to get into recording the next episode of the roleplay, so you probably won't see an episode of this again till maybe Monday if I have time, probably the Tuesday. Seems to be working quite well to have 4 of these a week at the minute, plus the roleplay on the weekend. Takes a lot of time, you know, it is hard work, but that's the plan. So, last episode we cut and rode all the grass up ready to grow, and there is a lot of it. There is a heck of a lot of it. So, in the meantime, I'm guessing there may have been a few guesses as to exactly how much. So by the end of this episode, we'll be able to know exactly how much there was. We'll see if my guess of 200,000 litres of grass is close, or whether someone else is probably closer than me, I would have thought. But let's just start off now. So what I want to do, the first thing I want to do, is head over to the pigs. Not necessarily the pigs themselves, but the open air garden which we placed down right at the end of the last episode. And I can see from here there's 2 pallets there of something. So all that we've done is skip through a day. So I wonder what they are. Okay. Interesting. You can pick these up. That is interesting, because I haven't got any mods to say I want to pick them up. I wonder how that is. But anyway, what have we got? So that's sugar beet, and that is corn. What else was we growing? There's sunflowers. Okay, so they're not quite producing a pallet yet. Sunflowers are on 490. Okay. Sugar beet and corn, that produces pretty quick, doesn't it? Really quick. So I'm not sure what to do. I don't know whether or not I should be lifting them by hand, going with the kind of realism theme. I do know that sometimes though these are a little bit glitchy on pallet forks, so I'll have to I'll get the pallet forks, we'll do it properly, but if we have problems maybe we'll make an exception. Now the straw is vanishing. How much have we got here? So they're still pretty good for food, and they're still pretty good for straw, even though it doesn't look like it. Let's go into the actual menu. So overnight, that base food, well, every single figure actually hasn't even changed, so they don't eat it as quickly as I kind of assumed. So that's okay, that's good. If we're producing that much, I mean 1,000 of that overnight, and these guys don't really eat a lot, we are definitely going to have a bit left over to sell. Obviously, there's only 4 pigs in here. There's going to be 20 at some point. So we will just have to keep an eye on it, I guess. Now, did they generate any more manure? Yeah, so 230 litres. So once we get ourselves organised, after we got the first few pallets generated and fed the pigs up, we'll have a look at how much more beneficial it is to put the manure into that open garden. It definitely is worth doing. But we'll have to see how we go. I don't know if I'd rather save that up and use it for the field. Now, that's doing alright there for a minute. We're not going to need that tractor for a minute or 2. So we're going to get straight on to doing the grass, I think, this episode. We might as well start with what we've got to be doing. I think if I start it and do a little bit, then we'll do some other bits in the meantime and then come back to finishing it off. It'll kind of break it up a little bit. I haven't checked in on this for a while. So we have got, there's another 4,000 litres of lettuce plus the 1,000 that's there. So that's also pretty good. That's going to be quite a lot come January. A bit like the last year in January, we're going to have a lot of money coming our way. Now before I get too carried away, let's just check in the shop. So, not really anything that we need there for a minute. No, nothing at all really. Great. Well, I guess we're just going to get straight into it. We'll start with the smaller field. Just get this one out of the way as quickly as possible. We'll have a quick look at what the figure is then once this is all in the silo ready to go, and then we'll be able to see exactly how much we're going to gain from the larger field. But of course my guess was for all of it all together. So let's see how we've gone. Okay, this is it. That was a lot faster than what I thought it would be. That went really fast actually. So just unloading the last 15,000 litres now into the silo. I wasn't keeping count. I have no idea how much. I don't feel it was as much as what I thought though. I don't feel like I've made enough trips back to this silo for it to be 200,000 litres. So we'll have a look now. We'll just park it up out the way. I made a point of not missing any grass, but yeah, let's have a look. I'll load it up on here just so it's a little bit bigger. But yeah, it's not as much as I thought. I was probably getting a bit carried away. So we've got 20,000 silage already and another 112,000 to go. So still pretty good. I mean, you can't really complain about that. Yeah, not bad. So 130,000-ish litres of silage. Pretty good. Pretty good. And that's one job done. Ready for the next time. Right. Now in the meantime, I'm just going to have a quick peek at the shop. I'm just keeping my eyes open for one of those big trailers. Okay, so I just tidied everything back away. Just jumped into this one. Luckily I've looked at the fuel gauge. I do not look at that very often at all. But we are right next to the fuel, so let's just fill this back up. So what I'm going to do, plan for the future, we need to fertilise all the fields that we've just cut. Obviously not the one over to the left, but this one and the big one. We do need to do that, but I'm not going to do that right now. If my calculations are right, this is probably, I don't know, 15th, 16th minute of the video maybe. It's always difficult to get it right really when you do a lot of time lapsing. But what we're going to do, forget the field work for now, we'll do that on the next game day. I think I'm over worrying about the pigs. The rate that they're actually consuming food is pretty minimal. Oh look, there's another pallet that's spawned over there as well now, look. Yeah, the rate they're consuming food is pretty minimal, to be honest with you. I think when you just see red things it makes you worried, but they're on 3,493. I only bought 4,000. And they've been in there for 3 game days, so they've used 500 litres of food in 3 game days. That isn't actually that bad. I know it's going to increase. It has increased ever so slightly when I first bought this one. They are due to breed. This one, for example, is pretty close. I think the bottom one is as well. But actually, I don't need to worry about them. There's a good 3 months worth, three days available in terms of food. So we've got £633. That's going to go down £200 every single day. So we've only got 3 months before we are actually in the minus. So what I'm going to do is actually cut the pig food here, stop it for a minute, and just prioritise a crop which is worth money. I notice actually it's just come up with great demand at the bowling alley. I wonder what that is for. Just have a quick scout through here and look for a blue arrow. There it was. Cheese. Yeah, we do not have cheese. We definitely do not have cheese. Is there anything else on there? Would have been quite handy if they needed some lettuce, but they don't. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna leave the food. I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm just gonna move this out of the way and just have a think. In fact, before I move it too much, let's go into here. Some of the crops that it grows. For example, soybean. When is that at its best? July. So that's no good because we are pretty much in July now, I think. Oh, we are actually in July. So some of it is a decent price, but too little too late. What about sunflowers? See, sunflowers is at its best in February. We want something a bit sooner than that, really. What else does it grow? That's no good. That's no good. I want something that's going to be at a decent price for kind of October. What about cotton? I don't know. Would you grow cotton in Canada? I'll be interested to know, because until I know that, I'm not even going to grow that, greenhouse or not. I don't know if that's a normal thing that you would have in Canada. The sunflowers grow at the same rate as the soybean. I'm sure it did. So 1 water, 1 sunflower, 1 water, 1 soybean. The exact same cycles per month. So they are identical. Absolutely identical. But soybeans worth 2,600. Sunflowers worth 1,500. So it's kind of a no-brainer, to be honest. Okay, we're actually going to leave the sugar beet. Because it grows so fast. And actually, although the price of it per 1,000 is much less, based on how much you get, so you get 4 sugar beets at every 1 water. If you times the £1,000 price by the 4, you pretty much get nearly what soybeans get. So actually, it's a good deal. So we're going to do that. We're just going to keep on growing the sugar beet. I'm just going to very slowly pour this over and see which figure this is just amended. Okay, so we pretty much know that corn is the base food, because that's the one that's just gone up. Now 50%, clearly this capacity, I mean, I say clearly, I'm guessing a bit, it must have a 10,000 capacity, because we're at 4,000, we're not quite halfway. So 10,000, so 50%. So this basically, I want to be running the pigs with 5,000 litres of corn at any given time. So I'm just going to put the rest of this pallet there. I might as well just clear it. Gets rid of that as well, doesn't it? So that's fine. So they're still getting a good mix at the minute. It's just a heck of a lot more corn than the rest of it. So, okay. Protein is going to be the sunflower. Root crops is going to be the sugar beet. Now, we couldn't grow any grain, could we? Any form of grain in this? No. Okay. So, grain is going to be the thing that we need to go for. We need to be looking at grain. So, let's say 5,000 litres of corn, 2,500 litres of grain, 2,000 litres of protein, and 500 litres of root crops. So pretty self-explanatory, really. That's not really much of a biggie at all. So I'm just gonna pop 500, or chop it up to 500 litres of sugar beet. Okay, right, I went over a little bit, but that's fine. So 580 litres of sugar beet there down in the root crop section. So that's alright. Protein, sunflower, that needs to be 2,000. So as soon as that pallet produces, we will stick that whole pallet in there. Worst case scenario, we can buy a little bag of wheat from the shop for £50 if we really struggle. Right, so this is now producing purely sugar beet. Purely sugar beet. So take a look at this menu, sugar beet. 1 water produces 4 sugar beets, and its cycles per month is 1,536. So per month, if I'm getting that correct, that is going to produce 6,000 litres of sugar beet per month. I think I worked that out right. We'll soon find out when I skip a day next. That's insane. That is insane. I mean, it produced that one in the time it took to pick the grass up off the field, so yeah. That's really good. You can see it just by looking at it, it's going up pretty quick. It's quite a bit of money there in that. The good thing about these pallets as well is you can pull a trailer alongside and actually empty those out into a trailer. So we can either take them down on the low loader, deliver them on pallets, or we can just drive them down in a trailer. We'll see how much we get. Okay, wow, to be honest, last episode of the week, I do tend to make these a little bit shorter. We made some progress, 130,000 litres-ish of grass, which is being fermented in our nice big silo over there. So that's a good 65-70 grand's worth there. We will absolutely get another cut from this field. So we are going to double that, pretty much. Yeah, so it will probably have, it's going to be all of that work again, but we'll probably have a good 130,000 pounds worth of silage when it actually comes to January. We may, if we're lucky, get 2 cuts out of this before January. We'll see how we go. We could do kind of 1.5 and cut it at a slightly earlier stage, maybe. But we'll see. We'll have a look. We've also got the sugar beet going over there. That is going to be a good little money earner, you know. Kind of underestimate sugar beet. I never do sugar beet because the actual process and harvesting it is kind of a nightmare. It is a pain, so that's why I never really get involved. But decent money, good. I'm just going to end the episode on now. I've just selected them already. I've picked myself the 3 fertilizing contracts that I'm going to do off screen. So I'm going to be recording the roleplay now, but I will do these before the next episode. Because this will top up the fund for the landscaping. That time-lapsing episode I do plan on doing. I'm probably going to be doing in, I don't know, the next couple of months. We'll sell the sugar beet and then we'll probably do a time-lapse episode because there isn't really a lot more going on. But in the meantime, so what have we got there? 25,000, 40,000 with that, 53,000. So I am going to do them. It's going to take me forever. However, that will put our landscape balance at just over 100,000, which is looking like a half decent amount, you know. The house itself is 65. Maybe we could do another 10, 15,000 on top of that, just so I can do a really good landscaping episode. But anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much, as usual, for the loads and loads of comments. I do apologise if I miss you. The notifications are kind of a bit strange through YouTube sometimes, but if you randomly get a reply from me from a comment you put 3 weeks ago, I do apologise, but I'm just trying to keep in contact with everyone, I guess. But yeah, thank you very much. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you at roleplay on the weekend. So until then, cheers and gone.